With recent economic handshakes and shakedown.
I have a good friend in the other part of the ocean saying, drill, baby, drill. Here, there is no need to drill. It's just plug, baby, plug.
Companies raising $500 billion just to be outmasters by companies with funding AI with $5 million.
But DeepSeek
Downloads of Chinese artificial intelligence app DeepSeek.
Artificial intelligence has become the most discussed topic of all time. And in this video, I'm gonna give you a perspective that where the hell AI is really at. But first, let's get rid of this toxic music and put on some lo-fi jazz. Welcome to Lo-Fi Philosophy. So, first I would like to address few things, right? Like, is AI even a threat? So, a very prominent name when it comes to discussing threats about AI is actually our one and only super genius Elon Musk. So, I want to present some perspectives. So, how Elon actually sees the world is by in the most optimal version of it. So, for example, he really worries about human extinction, right? He worries about population collapse. He also worries about just planning being boom, and so we need to go to Mars. So that is one of the reasons he is so worried about scanning the threats that can eventually extinct human race. So AI can be one of those. Why exactly is that case? In most optimal scenario, if we talk about, eventually everyone will have their own spaceship, and similarly with with computer, the idea was that eventually everyone will have the computer, and the skeptics were like, well, computer, nobody actually needs computer. But now it's just the opposite case, right? Everybody does need computer and everyone can afford it. So the optimal scenario was that possibly everyone is going to afford a computer. Similarly, probably everyone is going to afford their own spaceship. Now, when it comes to artificial intelligence, I am very honored to say that in my understanding, AGI is possible. So, right now, AGI is the most optimal version of artificial intelligence is artificial super intelligence, and we cannot mathematically prove that it cannot be. Matter of fact, in my understanding and in my calculations, what I see is that artificial general intelligence is very much possible. And artificial super intelligence, I haven't done the calculation for that yet. But if I do that, I will make sure to update in the community. So please make sure to subscribe, right? So artificial super intelligence, right? So let's talk about it. So do I think that we are going to achieve artificial super intelligence in 50 years? God, no. Do I think we are going to achieve artificial general intelligence? That is a bit tricky question, because here we need to do a trend analysis. And to do that, I'm going to introduce a very interesting topic, Moore's law. So Moore's law, what exactly does it say? Moore's law says that we are exponentially improving in technology. So that means the number of
transistors
in a chip increases
doubles
every year. So what that exactly means is that we are improving by the derivative of the improvement. So we are having an exponential growth, which actually means e to the power x. So this is very interesting, right? So by analyzing Moore's law, what I came to understand is that we will reach artificial general intelligence somewhere around 2030 and 2045. So let's lock in 2050, right? So when we are going to achieve artificial super intelligence, and are we going to achieve artificial intelligence in this state? I don't really think so. Right now we are at the stage of artificial intelligence, which we are using a model which is called LLM, large language models. And the point, the the most beautiful thing about large language model is that it's really expensive. It's very expensive, and we cannot even do basic executive function which is human can do, something like reasoning, planning, and threat detection. This is something artificial intelligence just cannot do as of right now. And this is something OpenAI and other artificial intelligence companies are trying to simulate with the reasoning capacity. But it just really seems like a patch. It really seems very shady, because it's trying to call its own token in an infinite loop, and and we have a set limit on those infinite in those loops, and it makes it really shady. So I don't really think LLMs will be able to perform executive functions. So do I think we are going to achieve AGI? Yes. Is it with LLMs? Hard no. I really hard no. I'm going to give you a vision, and before that I am going to explain to you a real problem in human society, a Matthew effect. So it's a verse that says, those who already have will get more, and those who have little will lose even that. So that's very interesting, right? Because people who have a lot of resources, they will get more resources, and people who have less, even what they have will be taken. That kind of seems unfair, doesn't it? But that seems to be just the goddamn reality, because we can see that with the K graph of rich and poor. So richer are getting richer and poor are getting poorer. This is something capitalism tries to argue, that well, rich are getting richer and poor are also getting richer. This is something that social communism promised to do, but wasn't really able to do that. But again, so I'm going to present to you a story. Alice was born into a family that valued education. Her parents read to her, buy her book, and encourages learning. Because of this, she develops strong reading skills early on, enjoys school, and gains confidence. As she grows, teacher notices her profound potential, giving her more opportunities like advanced classes and scholarships. Eventually, she lands a great job, reinforcing her success. Now let's talk about a child who is a little more towards the ground side, which means he's a little more unfortunate. Bob, on the other hand, grows up with a family where education isn't a priority because they are struggling with financial situation. So maybe understanding how to get the next loaf of bread is more important than education. He doesn't have many books at home, and no one reads to him. When he starts school, he struggles with reading, quickly falls behind. Without encouragement, he loses interest in learning. Teachers focuses on students who are already excelling, so Bob gets less attention and fewer opportunities. As a result, he continues to struggle and makes it harder to succeed later in his life. So this is a real problem we have seen, and this is something a book Outlier discusses very prominently. So how does this exactly relate with artificial intelligence? So in my understanding, artificial intelligence has a great potential to be applied in education system. And why am I saying this? I really think that artificial intelligence can be applied in education system because it can give hyper personalized tutor to every student there is. So for example, a person who is very unfortunate can have the top 1% teacher, and the person who is very fortunate can get that top 1% teacher too. And it can really create 10 Elon Musk per country. And as of now, LLMs shows incredible opportunity in teaching, and we have all seen that. I can ask it to create a research paper, it can do that. I can ask it to solve a mathematical problem, it can do that. And that is all a teacher should be. So it's a teacher that knows almost everything about almost everything. So here is a suggestion for world leaders. So if we want to be a multi-planetary civilizations eventually, we gonna need to counteract the Matthew effect, because we are wasting very good genetic intelligence by just making them out of resources. They are just born out of resources, and they're just not able to get those opportunities that shape human brain. This is something called an upbringing problem. So we're gonna need to solve a upbringing problem. And this is what I say to world leaders: if war is all you want, I give you planets to fight over instead of pieces of land. So if you want to implement artificial intelligence in education system or in your governance, education system is the only right place to do it as of right now. AGI? Yeah, sure. Right now, countries are using artificial intelligence for propaganda and false advertisement and again creating censorships. But artificial intelligence should be actually should be used in education system instead of creating propagandas. So, the only reason a leader would not like to implement AI after listening to this conversation would be that he hates his country. So, decide first. Do you hate your country and you want to use AI for propaganda, or you love your country, you want to see your people flourish and be liberated and implement AI in education system? So now the choice for world leaders is this. So, and with individuals who are listening to me, I would love to say that it's kind of your responsibility to take your education in your own hands, right? With these artificial intelligence model, you get an hyper personalized teacher. So more than ever, I encourage you to learn more skills every day. So, since the future is a bit far, I'll see you in the future. Thank you.